All right, hello everyone. So today's Thursday. Now let's take a look at gold. Remember, Monday, Tuesday, swing day. So the market from the highs swinging down. So the next swing day is not today. All right. So two things can happen here. We're either going to muck around here a little bit, or hopefully we'll come down into a swing day. If you want to follow this on a sell, you can. Yesterday I did say goodbye kiss zones are okay to sell, which were up here, as you know. One was here. Well, the weekly pivot is obvious, okay, which it didn't go up until, as you can see, that was in the Asia session as a PST goodbye kiss zone. It did it there, and basically that's it, right? So it's a bit tricky because we're in between levels. So this is what we can do. Today's Thursday, so you don't want to be selling a low, okay? You don't want to be selling this zone either. First of all, we're on a PST level in a small time frame. Let's check out the hourly as well. The thing is, the market already did the impulse and we're going sideways. Okay, see, that's the impulse down. We're going sideways. So selling the highs down is the logical thing to do. So at trading hours, if you want to sell the high to push down into the next swing day, it's okay to do so. And that's basically how we can do it. This is the hourly chart, as you can see. So impulse, market going sideways, okay? So selling the highs lower back into 2,875, in fact, slightly lower is okay, all right? Yeah, I don't mind us coming down a little lower. If we take a look at the weekly, as you can see, that level we talked about on the PST 67 is 2874, which we do have a measurement for. 2874. Let's bring this into 2874, and this zone is okay to target. Okay, so if you want to like sell on pullbacks down and down and down, it's okay to do so. If we end up at a swing hour on the low side of things, trade with a grain of salt. The reason you'd like to do that is because the swing day is not today, it's tomorrow. So it might drive into tomorrow. All right. If we dip down into here, this is fine. It'll stop sweep here. Okay. If I make this a little tighter, it'll stop sweep the 2,880 it did before, which is fine, and will probably take us, into that 2874. Okay. So if I get rid of that, and if I pull this back a little bit, okay, so stop sweeping, that is okay. Let me see if we have anything else in the background here. Yeah, and this zone is okay. It's where the market took off. Okay, so that 2,875.70 zone is looking okay to start again. All right. In the meantime, don't do anything. Okay, don't do anything. Simply because we're in the middle of nowhere. All right, this zone there. So if you want to trade it, the best way to go about it is going to be, if the market comes up first, you can sell. If it comes into that 2874 zone, okay, you can kind of like buy as well. Okay, I don't mind buying from here. All right, on the daily, 2874 is going to be in this box, okay, which is fine if I use this as the manipulation. And 2874 is pretty much here. All right, so coming down a little bit to be bought here on a swing day, 2874 is pretty much there. Okay, it's right on the edge. It's actually, okay, we could do that. Let's get rid of those. You can actually take the whole bar. If you take the whole bar, you'll be right on its edge. Okay. Right on that bar. Okay. So it's got to be a room to push kind of down. Okay. Now remember, if this thing falls off, okay, if it breaks down, if you range it, the range is down here. You can see that? Okay, if you took the coaching, you understand what I'm talking about, right? That's your range, and that's your double it. So this zone is still on the cards, but that's the only way. If it kind of pushes up and you want to sell, like I said, it's okay to do so on the highs, because that's your impulse down, market going sideways. So selling the highs is okay. Euro dollar on the daily, let's take a look. Now I did say this zone is a sell zone. Ideally what we'd like to see it is come down. Yesterday I said we're in a sandwich zone, but if this thing breaks, I said don't stand in front of it trying to buy it. Okay, and this is where the breaking happened. Okay, you see the breakout, market goes up, they sell again. Okay, so it's just, don't stand in front of it trying to buy it. If we have a PST breakout, this PST broke out here, pulled back, broke lower, trading hour. As you can see, these are all trading hours. Market pushing down, trading hour, market pushing up, trading hour, market messing everybody up, and then pushing down. So with the euro dollar coming down a little bit is not a bad idea. That 42 level, 1.0406, is what we want to see. Okay, 0406. If we come into there, which we've marked in before, okay, we'd like to get into the game. All right, so if you want to sell into that, should you? You can. This is a good breakdown on the low of the previous day. If the market goes back up again, selling is okay. Now, no selling around here, as you can see. Why? But you see the market bought heavy there, didn't they? All right, so if I bring this down a little bit, let's push it down. You can see this nice push up, okay? And coming down here is only going to give it a opportunity to go long again. If I do this and shrink it up a little bit, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see, this is a buy zone. Buy, good buying. Okay, so here there's buying zone, but they've done it a few times, as you can see. Okay, and the euro dollar is at the end of the day going up. But we'd like to see it come down a little bit and then, get into it around here. If we end up here, we're definitely buying. And on the daily, you can see 1.0405, let's say. 0405 is going to be right in that bar there. So coming down into this zone is logical, and even lower, as you can see, it's just like logical. This HCL1 is 1.0406, so we talked about that. Okay, heading down here is a target zone for us, and 0406 is also in that manipulation bar where the market broke out, okay, and closed above the high of that. You see what I mean? So that's a swing high, market coming down, manipulation going up. That didn't close above that, but that bar did. Okay, so now this zone for us is going to be on the cards. Okay, this is also on the cards, but like I said, this is a sell zone, so let it come down. And like I said, if you want to trade off the weekly pivot, okay, it's doable. If the hours match, do it. Okay, do it with a grain of salt. Obviously, you've got to keep your money management and so on, right? So make sure you put your hours in and so on. For example, 8:50 is going to be on the platform because we've got 9:50. So as you can see, it's nice and easy coming into this 8:50 zone. All right, that's going to be one zone. So this is going to be a bit exciting after 8:50 as well. We've got an exciting situation, and if there is news, no, that was Monday, and today is Thursday. So until New York, we don't have anything. In New York, we do have a setup right before the news, believe it or not. So you can do your setup around just like 2 minutes before. Okay, 1 minute before. Okay, about a minute before, and see how it goes. All right, so it's nice to see the market coming down. Like I said, from here there'll be a market reaction as well, and if it matches your hour and you want to go long from here, look, it's like they've done it before, they can do it again. Okay, which is fine. Let's take a look, but remember, we've got this zone on the cards. All right, so euro dollar, we are bullish on it. Okay, any pullback, okay, into this zone, we want to go up, and this zone is also okay. There are buyers in the market, but this is a sell zone, so you got to do it cautiously. Don't go in heavy. Let's take a look at SP 500 now. This is the daily SP 500 Tuesday swing day. Market hasn't broken that low yet. Okay, indecisive, as you can see. Market's a bit of a indecision mode. All right, so we don't know. The next swing day for the SP 500 is today. All right, so today, can we buy? Well, 27 is 5,906. Okay, 5,906. Should we come down? It's not a bad idea because it will do a stop sweep right there. Okay, if it comes down and you want to go long with it, it's fine to do so. All right, so Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday, Thursday going back up is fine, in my opinion. You've got to, let's just check the weekly first, because let's take a look at the weekly too. With the weekly, you see we've got this downwards motion. This is a 3 tap. You see 1, 2, 3, bang. Okay, so when buying, okay, you got to be cautious. The other thing is, obviously with a PST breakout, I always say don't stand in front of it, okay, because it's going to hurt you if you do. The next support on the monthly is 63. Obviously, we're on the last days of February, so I don't see it going into there, obviously, unless there's some kind of a big bang happening. All right, but I don't see that happening. The way to go about it, basically, today might also be, if we go up, selling it may be the way to go. Here as well, yesterday, that would have been Wednesday, 6:45 is there. All right, we had 7:45 and 6:45 on the platform. Remember, platform is 1 hour behind. And then the market comes down into 10 to 11:30, which is 9 o'clock on the platform. 9 o'clock on the platform. Okay, and then we've got 11:30 ending it, and that's 10:30 on the platform. 10:30 on the platform is there. All right, so this is where the market made that U-turn. Okay, and I did say towards the closing there might be a bit of a whipsaw sudden move, and that's basically how it is, you can see. All right, so this is still a bit tricky. You don't want to be buying it somewhere silly. This level is support. That's why there's buying there. But the pressure to the downside is hot. So we have to be careful. Right? So dipping down a little lower into these levels is also, it's also possible. Okay. So this zone may be like, sideways and then boom. Okay. Could happen like this. Look, sideways, boom. So when the market is in a sideways mode, you just have to be careful. Look, sideways, swing days, and then boom. All right. Sideways as well. That was a swing day anyway. But you see here as well, sideways market, and all the swing days, because we're at tops, look, because we're at the highs. So the swing days, you're looking like, well, where do I sell this? Okay. And that's where your technical analysis and your intraday timing comes in. So same here, as you can see. So this can, it can come lower. It can still be a swing day. If it can dip down here, we won't know. All right. But the safest place, if you're going to do any buying, is going to be 27, which is 5906 if you're planning on buying. Selling is going to be on the HCL1 5975. So if you want to sell at a trade hour, that's going to be 5975, which is just up there. Market's nearly done it. Well, that was yesterday, but this is where the market closed. Okay, that's the price they were happy to take home yesterday. Okay, that's where the market closed yesterday. And this is where the market opened today. So open, close. This zone is going to be, okay, that zone is going to be your kill zone. If it breaks above that, closes above that, don't muck around with it. Okay. There's a bit of a maybe. Is there a gap here? Maybe a small one, because this is like filled in. Okay, you see how they filled that in? Okay, this is filled in. As you can see, there are no gaps. Okay, so these are filled in. So there's nothing to talk about. This zone is a resistance zone, so you just have to be careful. The market can push down, and your earliest buy is there. Other than that, there's nothing to talk about. If it breaks that PST level, don't muck around. Don't stand in front of it trying to buy it. Okay. Let's take a look at the Dow Jones and NASDAQ and Bitcoin. Okay, with the Dow Jones, we talked about that weekly target, so there's not much to talk about there. Now, this is nice to see. All right, this is nice to see. So from here, intraday trading, maybe buying may not be a bad idea. Dow Jones has got a swing day Thursday or Friday. See the sandwich zone here, so you got to be careful. Look where they sold yesterday, right on a PST, right on a PST, and that probably was 645 on the platform. Okay, what else did we have here on the platform yesterday? 645 is there. Okay, and the market just slides down. Okay, so on the SP 500 it was a bit up there, but on the Dow Jones still chucking that UE and so on. So they took it up, sell it down. So today, once that weekly target of 51, 43,268, which was there, 43,268, as you can see, that one there, was done. Okay, bouncing off here again. So today might be the way to go up again. All right, so that might be the way. If you're trading it, 38, 43, 260, 43, 260 is pretty much on that line. You can see they're pretty close. So if we dip down here again, it's good to go. If it breaks below this, don't muck around because it's a daily and a weekly PST level. Okay, so, if this thing breaks down, they close under it. Don't stand in front of it trying to buy it. Okay, let it just go. All right, because Thursday and Friday is a swing day for Dow Jones. That's going to be on the cards. And tomorrow also if we're on the lows. The target of 45 is on the cards, 43,753. 43,753 is there. So those we can get rid of. If it breaks above this zone, above the high of yesterday as well, don't try to sell it. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, obviously, right? Why? Because on the weekly, we've done the target. Okay, is there room to come down? Yes. So don't blindly buy because of the gap there. 43,023 on the weekly. Okay, so that's a gap, but that might have been covered as well here. You see what I mean? Okay, so is buying okay? Yes, it is okay. At trading hours, at the lows, yes. Okay, but if it breaks below that, don't stand in front of it. Okay, I hope that's clear. NASDAQ. And like I said, if you want to sell, you can do it on the upside. All right. But because we're at the lows and it's a swing day, Thursday, Friday, from the lows, you want to go up. Okay. Now, here we got NASDAQ. Okay, so we've got Wednesday. With NASDAQ, let's check it out. Now, this week, NASDAQ was a bit of a drama, right? Because we had a few days. But I did say Tuesday/Wednesday. So Tuesday/Wednesday. All right. Now we've got a zone here. That's a nice little match. Okay. If the market dips down, you want to buy at 34, which is 20,900. 20,900. Now it may or may not get there, but if it's going to do it, okay, this is the zone where you want to buy at the right time. As you can see on the daily here, right? The LCL1 line, sorry, the HCL1 is 20,750. 20,750. Let me bring this down here as well. So this is also a zone, but this is the better one. Okay, so this is zone. Yeah, this zone is okay. You can also wait for a U-turn. You don't have to dive in. Okay, let it come. If it comes here, check out the price reaction. Wait for a U-turn, and then you can enter it with the stop loss under the low that it did according to the time frame's U-turn. All right. So on the daily, this is how it is. Now, you've got to be careful because we are right on the edge. Okay, that 50 level is 21,000 and we are right on the edge. Okay, so if this thing breaks, okay, you understand we've got room to go. So this is true for all the indices. So you just have to be careful. Make sure you're always using your money management. This is a risky period. Okay, this month is going to be a risky period. But if we catch a good spot this month, we could make a lot of money going to the upside. Okay, so be patient. Don't rush into stuff. Let the market, do what it needs to do. All right. This zone, as you can see, we're in a sideways motion, right? Remember Bitcoin, the same setup. So what you want to do is you want to buy this support zone. This is why I've underlined these levels. So if it dips kind of down here, okay, if it dips into here, these are zones we want to be pushing up into, okay? And on the weekly, it's also not a bad spot. On the monthly, you can see why they sold off, okay? So a bit of a pullback and then to go back up again next month may be the best way to go. Okay, it's good to see PST working like magic. You can see it's just like draw your lines and it'll give you a price, guys. Okay, if I had the fintech I'm working set up, then all of this will be like, you know, for us it'll be like magic. It'll be like, yep, that's the price, like we're selling off and so on. Okay, you can't see everything here because it's only limited to the pricing of these lines, but once I get stuff done, hopefully we'll be able to determine our own pricing as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. This is lovely because this is exactly what we were expecting and anticipating. Beautiful push down right into there. Okay, right onto your HCL1 83,000. So there you go. All right. Now, we don't have a swing day yet. Okay, with Bitcoin, as you know, it's gonna be tomorrow. So market coming down, that's all good. Let's see, this is the place where the gap's going to be filled in. Look. So we've got room still to come down. Okay. If it keeps pushing down and we have gaps here, that would be awesome because it'll just crash down and fill in the gaps. And then you know you're going to be a buyer. They'll freak everybody out if they do that, which will be great because then everybody's going to get freaked out. 30, if we push all the way into that 68, 73, this is the zone. If they push into there, okay, 73 is there, so I'm not going to draw an extra line, just make a note of it. 68 is in there. If they push it down here, we have to look for buys and just let it go. All right, just let it run. If you're buying and holding, this is the first place, like really decent to buy and hold if you want to do so. All right. So what's the moral of the story? The market will probably come up a little bit more and then go down. Then we'll have a divergence. So this is a good push down. If it goes up and comes down again, we should have a divergence, but the price should end up lower. Then PST is going to give us a price. On the weekly, we've got prices, so note them down. 42, 38, 35. 42, 38, 35, the top three. Those are your zones. You want to start, you know, if you want to buy, accumulate, that's your zone. Monthly 55 is 72. That would be awesome. 72,600. 72,600. Let's check out the daily. 72. Well, it's down here. 72,600 is there. So dipping into this zone is all good, which is basically here. All right. 72,600. So like I said, this zone is going to be hot. And that's basically it. All right. If you want to intraday it, what are you going to do now? Well, the market is going to have a swing day tomorrow. If we're up tomorrow, might sell again. If we're down tomorrow, you can buy a retracement going up intraday. If today you want to do some buying, should you, could you, would you, is a question. All right. You could, okay, there's divergence on the 4 hour, as you can see, okay, and this has probably got some room to push up, okay, before maybe selling again. So you just have to be careful here. Your first resistance is 32, just 86k. Okay, 86 is just there. Let me just double check exactly what that is. 32, 86,030. So it's not a lot. That's your first resistance, 86,030. Right there. All right. It's your first spot here. So a bit tricky to go long, I'd say, in this zone anyway. But if it breaks above that and then pulls back, you want to do an intraday trade to push up a little bit. Like I say, it's tricky because it's not a swing day. You know, we're in a downwards motion. So the only thing, you know, really logical to do here is if the market is targeting those levels, okay, you see this is where the market crashed down. So you want to bring yourself up here to sell again. Okay, the market is making an impulse wave, going up, selling off. Okay, going up, selling off, making lower lows. So, you know, coming up to resell is like a better option rather than trying to buy it and going against it, you know. And also, especially, it's not a swing day, and it's not a decent place to be looking for a support when the market still clearly has room to fill. It needs to come. This is pretty much filled here. Okay, still needs to come down in my opinion. Okay, and that's basically it. But you can see like we've dipped down, so maybe next week as well we can dip down, and next week the market can start to turn around, and then that would be great. Okay, so I hope that helps. Be sensible. These are good times. Very volatile. If the market dips down into a decent place that we've, you know, been looking out for, okay. If I take that manipulation by, so that's 37.5. So on a swing day, for example, tomorrow, if we hit some lows, you know, going back up is okay if we're down. Okay. Next week we might have a little bit more dip down. This is the move where the manipulation happens. So that's the impulse. So that's why that 37.5, as you know, is our golden ratio. Okay. If you want to take this, okay, we've got room to come down because that's now your 50% ratio there. Well, maybe 50 if I do it from there. Yeah, pretty much. Okay. 50. So, like I said, once we fill in the gaps at the PST levels, I think it's good. Next week, even if we go up a little bit this week, next week coming back to retest it, doing a bit of a lower low is like going to be an opportunity to go long in my opinion. Okay, so that's that.